All right.
Wow.
Well, welcome back to the Midwest.
The way you start, you're so smooth. That's a total pro move.
The mid.
You just go, welcome back. I wouldn't even know when you're starting.
Just like it's a total pro move to interrupt.
Oh, sorry about that.
Smooth intro, but like a pro, I'm gonna just let it slide and keep on sailing the ship.
Wow.
Home.
The ship. Last time I talked to you, I was walking down. I was on Addison Street, which is one of the cross streets of Wrigley Field. I did not get abducted or killed in Chicago. That's why I'm back with you. And I'm going back.
All right. Well, Gene, of course, said the name of the show.
Oh,
forgot
okay.
All right.
Sorry.
It's called the Midwest Sports Show.
Oh, I see.
And then my name is Chris Stotts, and then that's Gene Steggett.
Hello.
As well. So, Gene, you're on the mean streets of Chicago.
I was
and you escaped.
late at night when a lot of people are murdered.
Yeah, so if you didn't watch last week's show, which I do suggest you do, even though the audio was a little messed up.
Right.
Go ahead and check out the show from last week.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Don't check out the show. Check out the podcast.
Oh, there we go.
The properly audio mixed
Right,
podcast. And hopefully this one is better mixed.
Okay,
it
would be great. I found
the problem.
I was in Chicago, and then I came back, and now I'm going back to Chicago on Thursday.
That's the crazy lifestyle.
Yeah, 2 times in 2 weeks. Because we're getting to the point now where, listen, I already made it well known. I don't love the Cardinals, but I really respect the Brewers. And I think the Brewers, it's hard for me to say, but they might be better than the Cubs right now. Not overall. But, so.
Well, Gene, if you look at the menu on the left side, I feel like a weather person. Person.
Oh, I see. I didn't look at that.
You'll be able to tell right here.
Right.
What we have coming up, including a baseball, which we will talk about the Milwaukee Chicago Cubs finale, season finale series.
Yeah. Luckily.
Should I say regular season?
Yeah.
Finale.
And I think the Cubs won the season series probably because they
probably
won
like one game. But
they won the first 8. That kind of helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then and then Gina, you stayed for one more game.
I did. I went to 2 games in Chicago, I was at the Quintana game where the Cubs actually beat the Brewers.
So
the only game they won.
I texted you.
Oh, right.
Texted you. I said, "Are you at the game?" And you said, "Yeah, I'm not leaving until the Cubs beat the Brewers."
Right.
And Gene, what did I? Well, Gene, you're.
And you said you may. What did you say?
I said you might be there to 2019.
Wow, it was close because that game. Hey, even when the Cubs win, it's always super sketchy.
Well, I think they had bases loaded in the bottom of the top of the 9th or something like that.
They won by. I think they won by 1
2
run.
runs. What was it, 2 runs?
Yeah, it could have been.
No,
2
we were
runs,
shut out or something like that. I don't know.
But thank goodness they won, and thank goodness they didn't go the next night because the next day was really not good. So I hightailed it out of Chicago. People in Chicago are great, but I do quite. Well, anyway. The tolls and all the roads and all this stuff. Hey, listen, I'd rather drive in L.A. than Chicago. I just want that to be.
Well, it may take you forever to get anywhere in L.A., but at least it doesn't charge you $8.25 to get there.
Here, I went up to Lake Forest, which is a suburb of Chicago, on my last day because I wanted to see where the Bears are, their training camp, their facilities. It's in Lake Forest, about 20 miles north of Chicago. And anytime you get off the highway or whatever they call it, and to enter a small town, then they charge you to go into their little town. Hey,
by the way, do you think that small town gets that money?
I don't know.
Probably not. Not.
So I exit to Lake Forest, and the toll's $1.90, no cashier, and you need all coins. And wow. I'm thinking, well, I don't have any coins, so. Then you have to pay.
You have to give them $5 or something.
You can't put any bills in. It's just outdated. It's just a coin bucket.
How about Apple Pay?
How outdated is this system that they got running in Illinois? I don't know.
Hey, how about Waukegan?
Right, exactly. Good one.
How about Visa?
right.
Or MasterCard?
How about just doing some swipe or anything? I'm sorry, I don't live in that. I don't have a Illinois toll pass.
Mount Zion?
Right.
How about PayPal? How about that?
Yeah.
How about
that?
So
you basically, when you leave Chicago, you have to pay $6 to leave the city.
Because you know why?
Why?
Because if you do an electronic transaction, there's a record of it. That's why.
Oh.
They want those quarters.
Wow.
They want that cash. Gene.
Yeah, I got $1. Let me check. I have $1.98. Who even carries coins anymore? I know maybe you have them in your car for meter, but meters take money. I don't know. So there you go. Oh, and another thing on that last day, I met Clark the Cub. He's their mascot. He is. So this year, when I was in Milwaukee,
what brothel did you go to?
No, they
was he getting a hand job by Mrs. Met
listen,
or what?
Right.
Because Gene, he doesn't wear any pants. Gene, you understand?
He doesn't wear pants. So when I was in Milwaukee, I met Bernie the Brewer. That was a highlight. Got a picture with him. But there's a park outside Wrigley Field. You have to have a ticket to go in. And then Clark was there. And at the game,
what kind of place was it?
I don't know.
You got to know a password. Fidelio. You got to wear a mask, Gene.
I don't know what you got to do.
Blindfolded.
Oh, okay. At the Cub game, the 2 nights, Cub fans could do a little better about not selling the tickets, but I had the best seats I've ever had.
All right, so we will talk about that, Gene.
Okay.
And,
I sat right near Tom Ricketts. I watched him the whole game. He had some peanut. Do you want to hear this? He had peanuts.
Yeah, sure.
He goes to every game. He sits in the front row by the Cubs dugout, and then he's eating peanuts. I go, I wonder how often he eats peanuts.
Like the common man.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then when he goes up in the stands, he goes and meets everybody and takes pictures with them and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Wow. Is that live right there? The score Bears just scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Oh,
so
we're watching the Bears.
We got a lot of score. Unfortunately, we can't get the Bears game on the background.
No,
it's
but
not too easy.
hey,
But
good for
Gene's
the Bears.
watching it on his phone. They just scored a touchdown against
But how about this?
Chicago.
And they're retiring Urlacher's number. So Bears facilities really neat. Although you can't get past the gate.
Soldier Field.
No, they're where their headquarters are in Lake Forest. But it just says Chicago Bears, and then you can't go past the gate. There's a guy at the Cubs game. He was wearing a Mets jersey. And the beer vendor, even called him out. He goes, "What is wrong with you?"
He's like, "This beer is going to be $18.95."
Yeah. Oh, beers in Wrigley. Yeah, they add up quick.
Not far off.
But he said, "Well, I'm from out of town, and I like the Mets." Yeah, but the Mets aren't here, so don't wear that jersey.
Yeah. No,
right?
No one asked.
I don't know. Do you think that's wrong?
Hey, buddy, no one asked who you liked.
Yeah.
There was someone. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but when I was in Milwaukee at a Brewers game, someone was wearing a Cubs jersey.
Oh, really?
So not sure what that about.
I think that's wrong. When your team's not there,
I think it was a Baez jersey, by the way.
Could have been. Oh, and in my seat, so I could see Theo the whole game. I watched him too. How those guys get nervous up there, and they come out. They have a box and they have a few seats outside the box, and they come outside and they get nervous and they're hand wringing. They could have been happy with that series. Brewers are good. I'm telling you, Brewers. Okay, Brewers can win the World Series.
All right, there you go. Thank you. We know that.
I don't necessarily.
All right, Gene. Well, Gene, we're going to talk about all of that.
Oh, I thought I just wrapped it up for you.
No, I let the madman ramble.
Sorry about
you can't
that.
interrupt. All right, we're talking a little baseball. We're talking a little college football, Gene. A lot of Big Ten action going on.
I went to the I took my mom to the Iowa State game, and I'm going Saturday. Iowa plays Wisconsin.
Yeah, big game. So that's in Iowa, right? Or
yes, Iowa City. Prime time on Fox. It's going to be prime time Saturday night.
So the Wisconsin played BYU.
Oh boy, I watched
bunch of Mormons.
I watched that to scout Wisconsin.
By the way, I went to school with a bunch of Mormons. A lot of Mormons in La Crosse. Yes, a lot of Mormons. In fact, Gene. There's a major street in La Crosse called the Mormon Coulee Road.
There you go.
And I never even knew. When I was a kid, I never knew what Mormon.
Well, what did
I didn't even know what a coulee was. You know what a coulee is?
No.
It's like a thing in a river.
Right.
It's like a little. I don't know. It's like a little. It's something to do with like a river.
Okay.
It's a geographic term. But Mormon Coulee, and then I realized, it's Mormon. And then, that made sense that I went to school with all these Mormons.
Why are they in
Milwaukee? And they're good people, don't get me wrong. I'm not slacking Mormons here or anything like that. But a lot of Mormons in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Who knew? When I went to Donnie Marie, I've seen him 10 times in concert with my mom. And I'm seeing him again in a few weeks. But I sat with next to this Mormon couple, and they were very nice. They didn't drink. And then I asked them also if they had seen Book of Mormon, the musical, but they hadn't.
It's not. Here's the thing. I don't think the Book of Mormon it doesn't because you've seen it, right?
I've seen it.
I've not seen it. It doesn't make fun of Mormonism, right? It just
it kind of does the history of.
But it celebrates like
tradition, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
exactly.
call it that.
Because like Mormons are very successful, right? And it's
Oh.
and they do missions and they like help.
But Joe Smith, the guy that led him on their
Well,
whatever,
Charlton.
Who?
Charlton. It's Charlton. A con man.
He only made, yeah. Oh, could have been. I don't want. Yeah, you said that.
going on?
I don't want to say anything bad, but he didn't. He made it through Iowa. I don't even know if they went through Iowa. But
Did he get
he
kicked
didn't
out?
make it out of Missouri. Isn't Missouri where he found his
Yeah.
final resting place?
I think Branson, Missouri. Well, because you know what he did? He destroyed a printing press, a newspaper press that was called him out for being what do you call it, a con man? But
Right.
and destroyed the press, and that was people actually cared about a independent press those days.
Right.
And he was arrested, and I think a mob basically killed him basically.
There you go. We played BYU in a bowl game, and they didn't party like the Iowa people did. That's all I say.
Well, that's the problem, Gene. I mean, you got these Wisconsin kids.
Right.
I mean, just getting annihilated on Friday night, and then these Mormon boys.
Yeah.
They're reading the Book of Latter-day Saints. Who do you think's going to win?
Well, it's fair because
Right, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay. You're not on Wisconsin yet.
All right, but we will talk about that.
Okay.
Talk a little football, Gene. Week 2.
Yeah,
NFL.
Yeah.
Doesn't get better than, and then we get a little special at the end of the show.
Oh, okay.
Drew McGarry.
Oh, what's he up to? He has a top 5. I see that.
Top
5. What's he up
penned a article for the Milwaukee Record, I believe. It was an independent newspaper, the Milwaukee Record.
Okay.
Top his top 5 Packer players that he hates.
Wow, all time?
All time.
Oh, wow.
No, the last 2 weeks. Well, yes, all time. I'm assuming.
Maybe Paul Hornung made the list. He was.
Drew McGarry's not much of a historian,
Yeah.
Gene. Yeah.
Hey.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
At the Packer game, I should wait. But if I forget,
No.
Okay. They had
go
all.
ahead. We're not going to talk about your.
They had all the old timers there at halftime.
Oh, yeah.
But the fans, I've never heard this in Green Bay, and I did not participate. But the team got booed at halftime. It was ugly. It was 17-0.
Well, they played like crap.
Yeah, but I still would never boo. I don't boo anybody. And then.
You never booed the Cubs before?
No, never have.
Yeah.
And believe me, I've been at some dismal
Gene,
games.
did you go in the 90s, Gene?
I was
before
there
socialism?
I was there in 2014 when they lost their 103rd game or whatever.
And you're the only person cheering the whole
there
stands.
was nobody. It was pretty brutal. And then I didn't boo them, but then they brought out all the old timers at halftime, and the reception was lukewarm, if anything. But Paul Hornung was there. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did he have? The over or the under?
Yeah. About how long that you thought he was still
No,
alive?
the game, the score.
Oh, okay.
Because he was busted for
that's
gambling
right. He got
back
kicked
in the
out of league.
60s. Yeah.
Oh, here's
Can
another.
you imagine
thing.
that?
Yeah.
A guy like, well, he wasn't gambling on football, right? He was gambling on horses.
Wow.
Or was he gambling on football?
Probably football, I think.
Yeah, I think
don't
so.
know if they ever said.
All right.
But I went to the official.
But suspended for 1 season, though.
Yeah,
not
he
kicked
left
out.
the season. I went to the Packers tailgate, and they had an autograph table set up, and they had that kicker from like the 90s there, and nobody was over at his table. He was
Vogel?
Somebody else.
Do you know who it
I
was?
don't know.
Yeah, probably some guy from the Packers, for Brett Favre years, I guess, huh?
Yeah, and he was all bloated, and he didn't look good. He looked like he just took to drinking, but nobody came over to his table. I was like, I don't know if I really want his autograph.
Kinda
And he had
sad.
his book. He wrote a book, and it didn't look that would sound very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Anyway.
there you go. Well, good game. Do you have a lot of fun?
Oh, it's so awesome. I love it. It's my favorite place other than going to Wrigley. But Green Bay, the neighborhood's fantastic. All the neighbors are just so good.
Yeah.
And then the Packers tailgate's just fun. I did that for 3 hours. It was great, the whole thing.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Gene, we're
I
going
was
to start
shocked
off.
they won, though.
We're going to start off with the heated National League Central pennant race.
I'm surprised that the Cubs are very lucky they're in first place. They're very lucky. I see there's a critical eye.
We're going to finish up with that series that they played against Chicago. But first, Gene, before game 1, I don't know if you saw this. You said you were getting in there early. A Brewers player shagging fly balls in the outfield took off his warm-up top to reveal an Aaron Rodgers jersey. Of course, this was the Monday after the Bears game.
Wow. I was at the game.
The fans and the bleachers were not pleased.
Wow.
Who was the mysterious catcher? Or, I'm sorry, who was the mysterious player?
Yelich?
Well, I wish it was a batting a bullpen catcher who was getting booed a lot the whole series. So
I didn't see that.
Hey, Cubs fans, you sow what you reap.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Give and get.
The coolest thing at that game you're talking about, so they had this guy sing the national anthem and he had Down syndrome. And it was, the crowd was it was pretty cool. Very cool. Right. Not the greatest singer, let's be honest.
But, yeah, C minus. But
you know what?
C minus.
You know what was really cool? He had a harmonica and he did this to get on tune.
Yeah.
And but
didn't really work. Huh?
But the crowd, oh my gosh, they loved it, and he was so into it. So that was great.
Great moment.
Yeah,
great
that
moment.
was cool.
Right.
And then the Cubs went out and played terrible.
And Gene, of course, you were there, game 1, game 2. Now you were sitting behind this guy, this old ass guy.
The guy that wears a pink hat
with a pink hat,
sweatshirt. Yeah.
Now, Gene, of course, the Miami Marlins has Marlins man. The
I
guy
would have
wearing,
said something if Marlins man was there. I would have said something to him.
A bright orange Marlins gear, who's an immigration lawyer. Helping all the poor immigrants. In Miami.
You feel bad.
And then we got this old guy wearing a pink hat.
Yeah.
This pink hat the only hat that he has on, he's too cheap to actually buy a new one, even though he's rich.
He's like a millionaire. Some guy, and he's at all the games, and he sits right behind. He doesn't go anywhere either, and he doesn't drink beer. I was watching him.
He doesn't have to take a piss because he has cathode.
I never saw him get up, and because I had my eye on him. Tom Ricketts, who was in the front row, and then Theo. I was watching Theo because Theo was right behind me.
Watching all these old rich guys instead of these young rich guys on the field.
Well, it's interesting because this guy's always on TV right behind the Cubs home plate, and I'm sitting right by him. And I was like, wow, what makes this guy tick? But I didn't see a lot.
A pacemaker, that's what makes him tick.
Yeah, and you know what? Right. He wasn't over enthusiastic. He doesn't get too.
Then clap. Crazy. Yeah, a lot of people are standing up. He chose to sit down. I don't know if it was chose, but also game 2, Javi Baez.
Yes,
this character.
Oh, I love him. MVP over Yelich.
Was facing Yasin Chassin.
Okay.
Johas Chassin. I don't know.
Right.
Chassin, right?
Yeah.
Chassin. I was trying to get his last name. Chassin. Yeah. And he threw a bat at him that slipped out of his hands.
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
And Jacine had to jump on the pitcher's mound. Gene, what's going on here?
I don't know. I had no part of that.
And then,
I saw it happen. No, it happened right in front of me.
And then he gets struck out, and he hits Eric Kratz's hand, the catcher.
Right.
He hits the glove and knocks the ball out of his hand.
There you go.
So this guy's going after 2 Brewers players and 1 at bat.
Listen, Javi's a competitor.
Thank God he didn't get a single.
He's great. I'll say right now, if I had an MVP vote, he would be my MVP. But we still have 2 weeks left. But I'll say who else would get a vote? Yelich.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's on the Brewers.
You can't give Bryce Harper. I mean, the guy sucks, right? You can't give him any votes.
The other one would be Ariana. I don't know. Nobody deserves it more than Baez. How did Yelich? The Marlins are crazy to trade him to the Brewers.
Talk to your homie.
Jeter. There's another thing. There's a Starbucks right outside the players' gate when they come in, and
they make the rookies buy coffee.
Yeah, but Craig Counsell was in there.
Oh, they made Craig Counsell buy coffee?
Yeah,
what disrespect!
And also,
you saw him?
No, I heard him talking about it. The ESPN guys, but Ben.
That's insightful.
It's the second. Well, I don't know. Okay, the story's not that great. Ben Zobrist bikes to.
This is what happens when you get a chick calling your game.
Did you see that? Ben Zobrist biked to the Cubs game yesterday in full uniform. Because a lot of the players and Theo too, they all live in regular.
The laundry machines in the Wrigley Field are on the fritz again.
Yeah. And
then, let's get some replacement of these Sears from 1976.
And Rizzo wore his uniform to DC.
All right, hold on, Gene. We're not there. Okay. Go ahead.
Sorry.
So game 3.
Yeah, I was there.
Anyways,
I wasn't at that game.
Cubs won game 2. Thank God.
Right.
Gene got back. So thank God he's back to the podcast.
Yeah,
Everyone missed you.
Yeah.
Game 3, the highlight. Curtis Granderson, whom you were speaking much shit of.
I know, and he's
been lights out.
I was like, why the hell would they? What did they see in Curtis Granderson? But
you see it now, Gene.
Yeah,
you see it now. Anyways, he hit that ball that hit the very tip.
Yes.
The edge of the basket.
He hit the yellow line.
It basically bounced up, hit the edge again, and then came down. They initially called it a home run, but they went back and reviewed it.
It's got to go in the basket.
And what is going on?
I don't know. That's so rare. And then Chris Bryant hit the top of the basket later.
And the announcers, the commentary guys said they actually did see that already this year. So,
Wow.
why do you guys even have a basket out there? Anyways,
I don't know. That has to go back to the 1930s. It's just weird that they have a basket.
Is it because they don't want people running into the brick wall or something like that? But how's that going to stop?
Oh, yeah, maybe. I never thought of that. But it's good because the fans, they can't interfere with the play because you can't get to you have to kind of fall into the basket once the ball goes in there.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, another thing, I didn't catch any foul balls. But when I sit down, I always look around me to see which kid I kind of watch the kids around me.
First.
Yeah, I watch their behavior during the game to see which one deserves a foul ball. But I didn't get in.
Right to the noggin. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then, Gene, well, anyways, so the Brewers won that game. I think Kranison hit he got another home run.
Yeah.
He actually did get his home run.
That was an ugly game.
All right.
That was ugly.
And then as you noted, Rizzo wore his uniform to the trip to Washington, D.C. on the flight.
Right.
Gene, the Brewers are in the Cubs' heads.
They are.
They got them psyched out. They don't even want to change clothes.
You know what? The season started. I remember the first series. The Cubs went to Milwaukee and swept them 4, and I was at one of the games. The Cubs won the first 8, but now the Brewers are all up. And Josh Hader, forget about it.
He owns them.
If he pitches against the Cubs in the playoffs, if they play him. Wow.
I think he struck everyone out on the Cubs' face the last couple of games.
9 guys. Zobrist, it was the only one he did, but he struck out 6 straight.
All right. So that was earlier this week. Of course, the Brewers are shining in grandeur.
Yeah.
And then they host Pittsburgh this past weekend.
Let down.
Win the first game and then proceed to drop the next 2 games. Pittsburgh is a tough game.
Yeah, they're pretty scrappy.
Tough team.
Pretty scrappy.
Meanwhile,
so are the Reds.
Meanwhile, the Cubs play the Reds. It was in Wrigley, right?
Yeah,
It was in Chicago.
They scored 2 runs the last 2 days.
Reds are tough. They're a difficult team.
Good, yeah.
So
the Cubs were lucky to win 2 out of 3. They could have lost all 3 for sure.
Yep. So you guys you won in the bottom of the 9th on one of those games, right?
No,
or no?
At bottom of the 8th or 7th, Ian happened a home run, and then the other game they won 1-0, and then they lost 2-1. Yeah. Not big on offense.
Yeah, and then they lost 2-1. So
hopefully they won't need offense when.
Now, of course, they're playing the Diamondbacks.
This is a rough one, and they haven't had a day off. This will be 30 days. Come Wednesday, it'll be 30 days without a game, which is way beyond the rules. But yeah, they're in Arizona for 3.
You can't play God with the weather. Should have built
no, I love their stadium.
Should have built a roof.
Well, next year they're going to open on the road without some.
All right, and then of course, as we see in the background, the Brewers are playing the Reds in Milwaukee, and the Cubs. They're playing the. So, Gene, here we go. The playoff picture.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Brewers are good on the wild card, but they could catch a Cubs.
Cubs are 2.5 games as we speak, without any games on this Monday as we speak.
Right.
And then in the wild card, the 3.5 above the Dodgers and St. Louis. Dodgers seem pretty strong. Yeah.
Dodgers could win the World Series too.
I tell you what, I would much rather face St. Louis as a wild card than the Dodgers. You do not want to face the Dodgers one game. They can hit 25. They scored 25 runs against them this 1 year.
They could win the division. Well, they should win the division. So
yeah. So
and then after the Cubs get back, I'm going to go Friday. The Cubs are at the White Sox, and I've never been to Guaranteed. See now, Guaranteed Rate Field. That's in south. That's south of downtown Chicago. That's where people tend to get murdered much more often than up in the northern parts.
Okay, we'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get in, try to get in and out.
Maybe we will be able to Skype you in from the
emergency
room.
Next Monday, I'll be at Wrigley again tonight. Next Monday against the Pirates. So.
Yep. All right. So that's the playoff race.
Yeah,
baseball.
I'll see him twice
very
more.
Exciting.
So,
very exciting.
Very exciting.
All right, Gene. And then college football this past weekend.
That was fantastic.
Wisconsin,
that
BYU.
Was very disappointing. Hey, listen, even though I went to Iowa, I love the Badgers. I was watching them to scout them to see what we need to prepare for it.
Yeah.
And then they were terrible. They just weren't very good.
Yeah. Gene, I watched. It was on at ABC.
Yeah.
Over here in Los Angeles at 12:30.
Yeah.
In the afternoon. Gene, I watched 3 plays of this game and I promptly turned it off.
You saw enough.
Yeah, gee, I mean, I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know who any of the defense players are. I don't know who the coaches are. I mean, there's one the Wisconsin running back who's like a star.
I think he's only a sophomore as well.
Yeah,
he's very good.
And, yeah.
I don't know any of the players either.
Oh, then Havlicek or whatever his name is, Hornacek.
Yeah,
Hornacek.
Yeah,
I don't know. And this guy, hey, look, this guy's not Patrick Mahomes. All right, let's just say that.
He's supposed to be good. I don't know.
He's
that was
Ryan
a
Fitzpatrick.
bad game. Wisconsin's supposed to be national contenders.
Yeah,
Not
anymore.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. Big Ten, very disappointing. Northwestern, Chicago's team, got beat at home by Akron. Illinois got beat at Soldier Field by some crappy team. And then, South Florida. And then, it's just terrible. Nebraska lost at home to Troy.
Yeah, that's right. I did see that.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's because
it's
because they didn't pay it. You know what happens if you don't pay Troy your money?
Right.
You get sacked.
Iowa, we beat Northern Iowa, so good win.
All right. College football. There you go. Catch the fever.
No, it's great. I love it.
Right.
Oh, it's so great.
Just follow us online. You get to you get to hear my picks for next week. So, have they released a new poll yet? I mean, how far did Wisconsin drop?
Wisconsin dropped to, I believe, they dropped
15?
from 5th to 15, 16.
Something like that?
Yeah,
there you go. They're definitely not going to be in the national title.
Well, they got to, you can't. It's too early. They could bounce back for sure, but, that was not good. Not good.
Not good. All right, there you go.
Fans.
All right, Gene, and then NFL Week 2.
Ooh.
Thank God the NFL's back.
Wow.
A lot of stuff going on.
Great.
The highlights, I'm sorry, I should say the highlight, but the headline, the biggest news is that the Browns have cut Josh Gordon.
Oh,
By all accounts, the wide receiver wonder kid.
Yeah.
Who has a lot of problems, including substance abuse.
Right.
And he's been in the league for 6 years, and he's played basically played like 20 games or something.
Maybe they're going to trade him.
Well, they actually, Gene, this is breaking news. But
it is breaking news.
They did, not really, because this broke like 2 hours ago. But the Patriots got him.
Oh, they did. See, he'll be good on the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly.
He will.
So,
and then they cut their kicker as well.
Yeah, who missed a bunch of field goals this week
and
then
last week.
Have you
ever heard of that guy? Gonzalez?
Have I ever heard of the Browns kicker?
Hey, our family is doing fantasy league, and it's my first time doing fantasy league, and I'm 0 and 2. And
kickers?
Yeah, no, just in general.
Okay.
Just in general.
Over 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gene, I quit fantasy a long time ago.
I've never done it. I didn't
never
know
missed
anything
it.
about it. I don't. I just put a team together. Oh, I have the Packers running back. He doesn't seem to.
You get the ball?
Yeah, that's not good.
Like get handed the ball?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But anyways, Josh Gordon. So why did he get kicked out? Why did he get cut?
I don't know why.
Well, Gene, word on the street.
Oh, you have sources.
Is that I was actually listening to the Tomahawk podcast today.
Oh.
The Thomas, Joe Thomas, Andrew Hawk.
Right, yeah.
Andrew Hawk, which I guess is a receiver. No, Andrew Hawk.
Andrew. Okay.
Which is a receiver, I guess, who I really don't know at all, but he played for the Browns at one point. And, they got some inside sources. But basically, he was shooting a promotional video on Friday night for this documentary that he's producing about his comeback. And he either pulled or hurt his hamstring or something like that, and then told the team on Saturday morning, and they're like, "This is ridiculous. See ya, buddy."
Wow. How can they not? How can Cleveland? Listen, I really like Cleveland. I was a Browns fan in a Snickers commercial, even though the Cleveland fans didn't like the commercial because we kind of made fun of the football team, but. They can't do it. They just can't get it right. Something's wrong with them mentally. They're not good. Something's wrong.
Well, hopefully a new home.
but they've had.
Like New England.
They could maybe. I hope they don't just start losing again now a bunch because they're. I like if.
Well, both those guys know Josh Gordon somewhat. So on that podcast, and go and listen to it after you listen to this show.
Oh yeah.
And they're basically saying he's a good guy. He keeps himself, doesn't not do what he's told. It's just that he just doesn't show up sometimes. He doesn't doesn't come in.
That can be problematic at times.
Yeah. So, but maybe if you got something to actually play for, maybe you'll show up. So who knows?
I don't know.
Anyways, Gene, some reaction is Deadspin.
Deadspin, which I read every day.
Deadspin has a.
That's what Drew McGarry
has a column. Said he's worth the risk.
Oh.
Josh Gordon is worth the risk. Well, I'll tell you what, Deadspin.
This is coming right at you, Deadspin.
I know he just got traded.
Can't get out of the way of this
But he
one.
was out of a job for a minute. Why don't you go ahead and hire him?
Oh, wow.
Why don't you hire Josh Gordon?
You're putting this back on Deadspin's lap.
To be a columnist.
Why don't you just turn this around?
For your website.
Right.
Pay him $1 million a year.
Okay.
And then you let me know if he's worth the risk.
I see what you're doing. I like the way
it's easy to say a dude's worth the risk when you're blogging, when you're publishing 500 words.
Right.
In your mama's basement. You made me go there. Even though we're recording this in my mama's basement. All right, no, this is my apartment. I paid for myself. It's a one bedroom.
But you bloggers sitting there,
blogger boys.
Behind your
hey, Kevin
whatever.
Durant wasn't far off when he said blogger boys.
Yeah. I like those guys. Antonio Brown of the Steelers, he blogged or he tweeted something today about trade me then, and then he deleted it.
Yeah.
Don't delete it. Keep it on there.
Yeah, listen, folks. You know what my rule is, folks?
Right.
Listen, if you're not going to put on the helmet and get on the gridiron, shut up.
Oh, nice.
Shut up.
Hey, by the way, speaking of gridiron, I for some reason have Le'Veon Bell as my running back on my fantasy team, and they won't let me drop him.
What?
I don't know why.
Probably because it's too valuable.
Well, yeah, but you can drop other guys, but and what the hell is he doing? He's losing $1 million basically.
He's losing $1 million, but he's playing for $40 million, so he's waiting for 40.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So who's going to give him money? Sure,
no,
why not?
I don't know where you come up with this stuff.
All right, it's the market, Gene.
It's not the market. No, it's not the market for him. Maybe it's a market for Todd Gurley, but not for him.
Okay, why? Why is it?
Because he's older and he's.
What do you mean? But he's young. He's got cleaner wheels, right?
All
right, Gene.
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, we will. Let's talk about calmer things. Josh Gordon's got you a little upset.
Yeah. Okay. I wish the Cleveland would figure it out.
At least Josh Gordon's not kneeling for the national anthem. That'd be
There's
terrible.
not many guys doing that
untradeable
anymore. I don't think. There's only a few. But
all right, Detroit watched San Francisco. Gene, we do not have to spend a lot of time on this.
They were better though, right? Detroit.
No, the San Francisco won, right?
I think they won. And Stafford, I don't think he threw any interceptions.
He got a bunch of garbage. He got a bunch of garbage points at the end. They made it close at the end, but Gene, I hear a lot of trouble coming out of the Motor City.
Oh, I do too. About Matt Patricia.
A lot of rumblings.
I've heard a lot of rumblings.
I'm not talking about V8s.
Who?
Engines.
Oh. Wow.
Stay with me, Gene. All right, stay with me.
That reference is a little too obscure. I mean, a V8. When's the last time someone had a V8 engine?
What are you talking about, Gene?
Well, they don't make those.
Gene, you like small cars. It's okay, no problem.
Oh, okay.
Hey, listen, I'm not a big fan of V8s either, but Gene.
Yes. There's rumbling.
After the trouncing, by the way, we were recording this on Monday when the Jets were playing the Detroit Lions. Trounced Detroit. The Jets players were saying they basically knew Detroit's plays before they even ran them. And we're hearing that the Detroit players are not a big fan of Matt Patricia's Bill Belichick stern coaching style.
Yeah. I didn't know he was so strict. He looks like he'd be kind of a fun guy.
With a beard and a pencil?
Yeah.
Behind his ear?
But apparently he's not very nice.
And by the way, I think Michael Lombardi went after Matt Patricia for the pencil. He's got a laminated play chart, but he has a pencil.
I see.
I mean, listen, I'm the first to shit on Mike Lombardi.
Right.
But I got to defend him this time. Right. I mean, Gene, have you ever had a pencil behind your ear?
I believe when I was 7. Yeah.
It is surprisingly comforting, like a cigarette in your hand or a beer in your hand or something like that. Having a pencil behind your ear.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should reevaluate.
Surprisingly comfortable.
Yeah, maybe I'm
So,
wrong.
Hey, Mike.
Oh, this is coming right in.
Who's got a job in the NFL? Him or you?
Ooh.
Why don't you put a pencil between your ass cheeks? How about that?
Yeah, you're not sparing anybody's feelings. You're going to have to.
I'm fired up. Anyway, Detroit lost.
Apologies. They played better, but I'm surprised that he's not, that they don't like him. I don't know. I don't know anything about Matt Patricia. I mean, I know who he is. I know something about him. Okay, I know a little bit about him.
What do you know more about, Jesus or Matt Patricia?
Well, I thought he would be a good head coach. I mean, they interviewed him.
We were talking about them going like 11 wins or something like this.
Yeah,
this year.
I mean,
not going to happen. They could go. They're going to go like
It could get ugly
2-14
fast there in Detroit.
Why are they signing these coaches to like 5-year deals when these guys
Yeah.
can't even win 10 games?
Right.
Or I'm sorry, can't even win 4 games.
Yeah, they should have got Matt Nagy when they had the chance before the Bears got him, because I like the looks of Matt Nagy. I think. We'll see. But,
all right. Well, you mean he doesn't look like a sexual predator like Jim Tressel?
Yeah, Tressel was weird.
Everyone looks better than Tressel.
That was a weird thing. Yeah.
All right. And Jane, we're briefly, very much Colts at Washington.
I didn't get to watch much football because I went to a musical yesterday.
I watched this. A lot of people were criticizing Andrew Luck last week because he was throwing short passes. He threw a couple long passes. And I'll tell you what, the Colts defense is really, really good.
That's good.
So they're always going after Alex Smith, and he didn't have time to throw anything. So
did Andrew
Colts?
Luck,
Colts might be a surprising team in the AFC South.
Like his normal.
Yeah, he was running around, throwing the ball.
That's
good. He was.
I
really
like
good.
that guy. You gotta. Well, you don't have to do anything, but I kind of admire.
Yeah, I'm rooting
the
for
guy.
Andrew Luck right now. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
All
Was Jim Irsay on the field passing out dope or anything? Was he?
So does anyone need anything for their legs, for their knees? Mm-hmm. All right, and then Gene, before we get to Minnesota Green Bay, Bengals cornerback Dre Kirkpatrick. The Bengals were playing, I believe, the Ravens on Thursday Night Football. Cornerback Dre Kirkpatrick hosted a tailgate party. At a nursing home before the Thursday night game.
I like that. That's
some
great.
Little community service.
Yeah, that's cool.
Gene, was Kellen Winslow Jr.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Was he at the party?
Oh my gosh!
And did he have hair? Was he wearing glasses? I mean,
isn't that a weird story? I think he made bail. Maybe he could have made bail.
He has money.
Yeah,
this guy's in the parking lot of Target jerking off.
Oh,
and he's got money.
That's the least of his problems. He's got some. Yeah, that's not good.
Jesus.
Wow, I didn't see that one coming. You were telling a nice story, then you throw accused rapists right in the middle.
This
of
is a comedy podcast.
Oh, I see. I misspoke then.
Oh, the Trubisky just got intercepted.
Yeah, I saw that. He underthrew the guy pretty good, so not good.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right. So, well. It's a learning experience, right?
No, he's got to be better. Patrick Mahomes got drafted after him.
Yeah, speaking of which, and
so did Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, well, Trubisky only has to throw 9 more touchdowns to match Patrick Mahomes' two-game total.
But Mahomes hasn't thrown an interception, I don't think. And
yeah, I don't have it on the docket, but by the way, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. Kansas City's definitely, I mean.
Oh, my God.
They, all their players are, I mean, Tyreek Hill, the guys are so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't outthrow those guys.
One of these years, they got to be good in the playoffs.
They're going to be the Super Bowl for sure, I think.
It'd be good
don't we say this about Kansas City every year in the beginning?
But the problem is, and then they lose at home in the playoffs on a terrible game. Last year, they had a huge lead at halftime. And whoever they lost to came back and beat them.
I think
Kansas City.
This team is so stacked. I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, but we'll not a good track record.
All right, Gene. So Minnesota at Green Bay.
I didn't see it. Can I say this? So yesterday I went to the musical. They're doing a musical. They did about the Temptations. Do you know they're still touring? But there's one guy that's still alive, and he's 76 years old. So I was at the Amundsen Theater watching it, and then I was following along the Green Bay game. And
by the way, I bet his grandkids are pushing him out onto the stage.
Right.
Hey, come on, we need some money for the Cadillac.
It's so great. And this show it's in
L.A.
before it goes to Broadway. And Smokey Robinson was there a couple of days ago. So okay. Anyway, I was watching it, and Minnesota was driving. Green Bay was going 29-21.
Santana hit a home run.
Yeah, and I was following along on the ESPN the Gamecast. So you just follow play by play. And then they made the announcements. Okay, everyone, the show's going to start. Turn off your phones. And I was like, oh.
No.
And then at intermission,
you should have kept it on. Who cares?
I know.
Will they kick you out?
I was sitting in really good seats, and people around me paid a lot of money, and so. But I did. So intermission. First thing I did was check the score, and they tied. And I was like, "What happened?"
Well, Gene, I'll give you some notes.
Right,
I got some notes here, and again, we're not going to go through everything.
Sure. But I did see
But
the Clay Matthews play, and that one does not sit well.
Let's just go to the end of the game, Gene.
Wow,
and work our way backwards. Huh?
I'm giving you everything I know.
So,
that's all I know.
No one asked you, Gene. All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. So before the game, Gene, I got a quote by Mike Zimmer, Vikings coach Mike Zimmer, on if he's preparing for Aaron Rodgers to start for Packers. Yeah, he's quoted. He walks on water, so I'm pretty sure he's going to play.
Wow. Well, when did they
Gene, if you're a Viking,
right,
and your coach was calling the other quarterback the son of God,
yeah,
would you be worried?
Right. Yeah, I guess I would if it's Aaron Rodgers. When did they decide to play him? They didn't make any announcement.
Like Saturday, I think they cleared him.
Okay. Yeah. And then
they're keeping this all a mystery.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal are talking about he's probably torn his ACL, but they're just completely guessing. If he tore, I don't think he. I mean, I think it was really bad. I think he would shut it down. I mean, I don't think he's trying to jeopardize his career.
I don't. Did they have? They said
he just has a sore knee. It looks like. Yeah, they had an MRI. So, and they're acting like maybe only 3 people. Was that Yelich just hit a home run? There you go, back-to-back home runs.
Wow, look at the Brewers.
No, that was Mustakas. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, and
the Brewers are good. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah, they're good.
That's not Homer Bailey pitching, right? No, I don't think so. Anyways, so saying that like only 3 people know, like McCarthy. I don't think McCarthy would let him play on a torn ACL. Yeah. So I think McCarthy, wants to win this year, but that's
I don't know. I don't know how bad it is. Yeah, I don't know.
So the beginning of the game looked really great for the Packers. The Packers D, by the way, looks really, really good.
That's good. So Mike Patton.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the only reason why they faded near the end is that they were just on the field for so long because the Packers' drives just basically faded. I think A-Rod's knee really started bothering him after halftime and all that stuff.
How's it get better though?
Well, he just, I mean, exactly. Should he be playing football on something he needs to heal up?
Well, they need they especially against you can't really take a week off. Packers are in a battle to win the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
All right. And then, Gene, I don't know if you saw this. Well, of course you didn't see this, but A-Rod.
Yeah.
He's got a new commercial campaign.
I did see his commercial
for Izod.
Oh, is it Izod?
Izod clothing. Maybe you saw another one. I mean, he gets all these other ones.
Oh, he does Allstate too, or no, he does one of the insurance companies.
Yeah, Allstate or State Farm.
Yeah,
but this is a new promotion.
Okay, I don't think I saw it then.
Good for him getting some more money and all that stuff. But Aaron, I mean, why Izod? Izod is the brand at Macy's that's like $10.
Injured, you can't say something.
Aaron, you don't want to represent the bargain bin.
Wow,
the bargain rack.
He represents
brand.
The common man.
And look at the stupid logo. It's just a Z with like an I, like a line. I don't know, some bullshit.
Yeah.
Gene, as you can tell, I'm a polo shirt wearing guy.
Yeah, I like it.
Including the real polo shirts. This is Lacoste.
That's good.
A-Rod, Aaron, how about you get a real brand?
Ooh,
I don't know. I don't care how much money. You can't put a price on respect.
Is there anybody that's out of bounds for you today? Going after Rod?
Hey, nothing's sacred. There's no sacred cow.
You can't say anything bad about Urlacher. The Bears are retiring his number.
There's no sacred cow on this dairy farm, Gene, of life.
Good one. I saw a lot of cows in Iowa because I drove across the state. A lot of cows.
Yep. All right, and then, Gene, just got other couple highlights for the game. When the Vikings scored, I think it was the first touchdown, and the player jumped into the crowd to do his own little Lambeau leap.
Oh.
Yeah, the Packer players pushed him out right away, not letting any of that garbage.
That is so disrespectful.
Going on.
Hey, if you're playing in Minnesota, if the Packers are playing in Minnesota, you don't grab the Vikings' horn and start blowing on it.
And start putting it up your ass.
I don't know about that.
Don't get on the horns of the dilemma.
Graphic.
And then, the Vikings clawed their way back. And
they kept it. It
Kirk
was
Cousins,
around 8 points mostly.
Yeah, and then, I think it was that 8-point drive. Or I'm sorry, no, it was like 3 points. Or no, it was like 2 points. Something like that. It was very, very close. And then Kirk Cousins, trying to prove his money's worth and trying to prove that he's worth the contract, promptly throws an interception to Clinton Dix. And
that was with a minute something left to go.
That was like 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah,
something
because
like that.
I was following just the game count.
And the game basically looked like it was over.
Right.
Sorry, cuz.
Oh,
That's what I
happened?
wrote down. Sorry, cuz. Better luck next time.
Oh, and then the
The
Packers, if they
Packers
could have scored a touchdown, they didn't have any
go
chance. They
down
just,
go down the field and did
yeah.
score a touchdown, but it was called back on a phantom penalty.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think Devontae Adams scored or something. Or no, I think he caught the
Oh,
ball, and I think this was actually a real catch. And they actually they didn't challenge it, but they reviewed it and said it was not a catch.
oh,
And then they kicked the field goal.
it's
I think they won it by 8.
heartbreaking.
Yep. And then the Vikings again are driving,
Yeah.
and it's 4th down.
Was it fourth down when that play
Maybe it was a
happened?
4th down. I might be wrong.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cousins. No, it may have been. No. It was actually the very next play. I think it was
Right.
the first play. I think because supposedly he threw 2 interceptions right in a row.
Mm.
Cousins throws it up. Clay Matthews hits him in the middle section. They go to the ground. I'm not sure who exactly caught it, but a Packer player intercepted the ball.
Right.
Flag.
That was the same thing that happened against the Bears.
first
They
of all,
said
what-
the Bears intercepted.
Why is that not
or
an
the
interception
Packers
though?
did.
Okay, it's a penalty, but they caught the ball. How can you why is the play
good
dead?
one. Yeah, I see what you're
Right?
getting
That had
at,
no
because
effect of the actual play, right?
Yeah.
Why don't they
I
just
don't
give him
know.
15 yards or something like that?
But the same thing, Packers got an interception last week against the Bears, and Clay Matthews had a penalty. But this was just, gosh, it was so.
It was
wrong.
probably the worst flag I've seen in some time, Gene.
I think everybody agrees. They do.
But they're using this replay as an example of what not to do to show players. I think it's all about actually falling onto Cousins and landing on him. By the way, Cousins even thought
yeah.
it was a gimme
Just
a prize,
terrible.
a present.
How devastating. That
Well,
was
hey,
tough.
Kurt, you can the Vikings can decline the penalty. By the way,
Oh, I see.
whatever happened
Yeah,
to
do that.
sportsmanship?
And then they
Huh?
scored.
Hey, Kurt, do you think Jesus
Right.
would have taken that flag?
Okay.
I don't think so.
Then did they score right away after that?
Well, not right away, but they
Yeah.
scored, and then they got a 2-point conversion.
Oh.
I mean, again, just total meltdown of the
But
defense.
you know what? If they would have won, Minnesota should have won overtime, shouldn't they? Didn't they have?
Well, the Packers, I think, got the ball with 30 or
and they
20
missed a field
seconds,
goal.
and then Aaron Rodgers. You know how it's better when I set this up
Oh,
instead
okay,
of you
I'm
just
sorry.
going to the ending.
What?
It's called the story, Gene. All right.
All right,
Let's-
okay.
just
I-
watch the Bears game, Gene.
All right, no, go ahead.
All
What
right,
do you got?
so Aaron Rodgers gets the ball back, promptly goes about 45 yards in 10 seconds or something like that. Gives Crosby a nice shot. Hut the ball, kick the field goal. It's through, but wait. There's a timeout. Mike Zimmer is calling a timeout. And by the way, these were timeouts that the Packers could have forced them to use up if they would have actually ran the ball instead of throwing the ball and trying to go up a full touchdown instead of having to use the timeouts. Vikings call a timeout, re-kick, and of course Mason Crosby misses the kick.
Oh, I didn't know that. That makes
Yep.
it even worse. Wow.
So
it's a good
overtime-
thing I didn't watch that. That would have been tough.
All right, it's overtime. Vikings get the ball back first. And I don't like that rule where if you score a touchdown, it's game's over.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they need to change that. I think if it's a touchdown, you still get another shot, and you have to get a touchdown.
Right.
So I think they should change that. But anyways, the Vikings kicker missed 2 field goals. One to just go up by 3, and then one to win it because it was sudden death. And Aaron Rodgers didn't really do shit on their drive. He was pretty much done for the game.
Wait, so do you think the Packers?
And
Boy,
these
that's
10-minute
tough.
10-minute overtimes are crazy too.
Oh yeah, it's only 10 minutes. Do you think? But they were. I mean, it's such a tough tie. But they could also lost, so it could have been
They're
worse.
definitely better than a loss, but
yeah.
I think the defense was just gassed. They were on the field way
That's
too
true.
long
That's
because
such a tough.
A-Rod just faded at the end,
Yeah.
and those pills wore
boy.
off. So
Oh boy.
the Vikings, if there's a moral of shining, if there's a silver cloud, the Vikings kicker got fired. So
Yeah, he got caught.
Yep, there you go. That's
And-
what happens when you attach
And
yourself to the
the other
Vikings.
moral victory is Packers get to go to D.C. this week, so they should.
Well,
be able to
Gene,
win.
then they're playing on that shitty Washington D.C. field
Yeah, I know.
that messed up RG3's knee. Oh,
Yeah.
perfect for A-Rod.
There'll be the good thing is there'll be a lot of Packer fans. Packer fans are great. They travel well.
All right, and then then the Vikings picked up Dan Bailey. So
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, Dan Bailey's good.
yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
He's just old, so hopefully they won't be able to kick super long
Yeah.
field goal. So All right, there you go, Gene. That's
a tough one. Those are tough. That's what makes sports hard when you lose games like that or tie.
But I think the Packers showed the defense. They really kind of belong and they can compete.
I like the way you're thinking. So you're thinking you're looking for some positives.
Yeah, I think if Aaron Rodgers has a healthy knee, I think they win that game by a touchdown or whatever.
All right, that's good. Well, they play again in December. I think it's November 20. It's Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, that's another. I don't think Aaron Rodgers plays if it's in Minnesota. Not because of the noise and all that, but I think because of that field. I don't think he can play on a harder turf, whatever. All right, well, Gene, we're gonna finish up with Drew McGarry.
Very exciting.
We'll do this quick.
What's he up to?
Top 5 hated Green Bay Packers, and this is in no particular order.
Okay.
By the way, and he's got kind of like a paragraph description. So maybe I'll go through this quick. But Brett Favre on the top. I agree with him 100%.
Wow.
This is my most hated and most loved Packer. Not most loved, but definitely I do appreciate it, but also he's a SOB. He says no Packer will ever be more insufferable. Correct. They still find a way to bring him up at least 5 times in every Packers broadcast. It makes me want to die. The last time the Packers had, quote, the last time the Packers had to come back like this, Jim, little fellow by the name of Favre was playing QB. And first of all, let me just say, that's not a really creative line, Drew.
Right.
My voice helped that.
Yeah, good for you.
All right.
Yeah.
Good assist by me. All right, here we go. Mark Shimura.
Oh, the babysitter guy.
Mark Shimura. He's a beloved Packer from the 90s.
He was.
I think.
People loved him. And then,
Gene, just like our Supreme Court of the nominee.
Right.
Let's not judge something that happened when you're a teenager, and just like Mark Shimura, let's not judge something that you do to a teenager that you're not sure when she was a teenager.
Okay.
Same thing, basically same principle.
Okay.
Same principle.
All right. I guess I'll. Okay. If you say so.
I'm joking about the Supreme Court thing. The guy should never.
Right.
The guy should not be nominated.
Yeah.
Not be. He should withdraw. Okay. All right, Mark Shimura. Even before he turned out to be a criminal, I hated him. He was Favre's Dallas Clark, routinely making clutch catches that I'm sure delighted Packers fans, but infuriated the rest of the universe. He's a Vikings fan, by the way. He would bail Favre out on drives that had no business of continuing, and I think the Hall of Fame should tack on 50 extra spiritual inceptions to Favre's stats to reflect it. Well, Drew, it's like Narnia. Okay, there's no magic wands here, so
wow,
it is what it is.
Okay, Joe.
Jordy Nelson.
Jordy, how? Oh, this.
See, Gene, you may notice a pattern. Drew McGarry, no sense of history. No Bart Starr.
Right.
No, I don't know, Nitschke.
Jerry Kramer.
None of these guys. I would just put like the whole 60s Packers.
Yeah.
If I was writing this. But Jordy Nelson, standard white talisman receiver who stood in as a proxy for every 400-pound cheese breather in the stands who thinks Jordy could be their biological son. 100% correct. Everything word about that. Frank Winters. I don't know. I can't remember this guy. He was a tight end, right?
He might have been at they introduced all the old Packers. Maybe he was there. I don't know.
John Madden kept calling him old Frankie Bag of Donuts.
Oh, that must have been the
Then
70s,
would snicker and never even bothered to explain how or why he had that nickname. I mean, I know this because he was fat, but still. I honestly don't remember all that stuff. I watched a lot of Packer games in the 90s, and I don't remember. Frankie Bag of Donuts. Seems like Drew McGarry has a selective memory.
I bet I'm going to know who's the top one.
This may surprise you, but William Henderson.
Oh, well, then I'm wrong. Yeah.
What did you think?
Well, the one guy that got busted with all the guns and the weed or the drugs.
Oh,
the fat lineman.
He was a French Goy.
Yeah, that guy.
Lagoy?
Yeah.
No, but it was it's
William Henderson.
It's William Henderson, and William Henderson was basically John Kuhn before John Kuhn was John Kuhn. Please add Kuhn to this list to make him number 1A because he sucks. I said I hated Henderson once he heard about it and got on TV and basically said I was an asshole, which is both fair and true, but he still really annoyed me. So he's just doing this because William Henderson called him out.
Right.
And there's a clip of former professional athlete, saying his name, and Drew gets chills. He gets a hard on to see that clicks on that video go up. So
hard on.
So Drew, try better next week. Vikings suck.
Let's evaluate what you're doing and try to get better.
Let's. Can anyone beat Aaron Rodgers with one good leg? I mean, I know no one can beat him with two good legs.
They got to win next week.
Well, against Washington.
Yeah.
I don't think they have to win. I don't think they have
No,
to.
they don't have to, but it would be nice. You don't want to go 1-1-1.
Yeah, I think Washington's better than what people think. So,
yeah. They were bad yesterday.
All right, Washington. Who do the Bears play next week?
Bears, believe they have another. I don't know.
Okay.
They're playing Seattle, and they have to win that game. They don't have to, but they should. And then I don't know who they play. Could be anybody. They do play.
Well, let me just see if I can.
Yeah, they do play New England this year, I think. So do the Packers. The Packers come to L.A. in October, but I'm going to be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They may not even be good. All right. Who knows about that game? All right. I'm checking to see. Minnesota plays Buffalo. That
Bears
should be
go to Arizona.
That should be an easy game.
They
Yeah, Chicago and Arizona. That's
Arizona's
an easy game.
terrible.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it.
And then New England at Detroit on Sunday night. That should be a pretty easy game.
Look out, Detroit. No, that's not going to go well.
Matt Patricia.
Not going to go well. It can't go well for Detroit. Detroit, everyone thought, that's a tough division. Detroit might not be very good.
Yeah, they're going to be bad. All right, Gene, let's end it right there. So for Gene Steichen, my name is Chris Stotts.
I'll see y'all back in the Midwest this week.
All right. It's been the Midwest Sports Show, and you guys will see Gene next week.
Have a great week.
Midwest. All right, so I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.